that hired you, whether it's the government, your own party, says that was not your best moment. In fact, they tied you back to Kamala Harris. You were so bad, you sounded like her. And by the way, I'm sorry, it's not a partisan issue. She was terrible. Get over it. So now maybe she'll get better.
20 seconds. That was it.
Oh,
and the reality,
are you kidding?
But the reality is, if you take just a minute and not be condescending,
have written, AOC was beyond her skis, I think, in a place that is a new horizon for her.
Don't say
Enough, Kevin. You're so damn repetitive.
Kevin, please stop.
And, you know, she can't, I mean, Donald Trump can't read a script. She was answering an impromptu question of something that she's not an expert in. And she's there making mistakes and learning from them. Listen, I'm old enough to remember when George W. Bush was running for president, and they asked him about the guy running Pakistan.
Did you catch that energy? That wasn't policy debate. That was Kevin O'Leary getting checked in real time. The moment he called AOC terrible and told everyone to get over it, the mask slipped. Because this isn't really about one answer in Munich. It's about who gets mocked and who gets protected. AOC pauses for a few seconds and suddenly she's word salad girl. But when Donald Trump fumbles entire global statements, that's just personality. That's just charisma. That's just Trump being Trump. Really. And here's the thing. If you're going to criticize, fine. But keep it consistent. Keep that same energy. That's exactly what Abby Phillip forced in this segment. She didn't let it slide. And you can see how uncomfortable that made Kevin. If you believe standards should apply equally no matter the party, hit the like button right now. Let's see how many people actually care about consistency.
Woman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is facing a wave of criticism for this foreign policy flub at the Munich Security Conference.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a, you know, I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States, and I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point, and we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
It should come as no surprise, MAGA is having a field day with this one.
Move over Kamala. AOC just cooked up her own signature word salad on the global stage.
She was taking her 2028 bike out for a spin. She hit the embankment. She flipped head over heels and went all the way down the mountain. It's her fault.
After the word salad, AOC froze like a deer in headlights.
To quote Billy Madison, everyone in this room is now dumber because of that answer. Thank you, AOC.
A flub for AOC, but the question is also, what happens when the president, the actual president of the United States, does very similar things on the world stage? Listen.
I watch our police and our firemen down on 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center.
When I told them about Iceland, they loved me. Our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland.
Shifting production to Thailand and to Vietnam.
I saw words that was unsolvable. Azerbaijan and Albania.
Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa.
Nambia's health system is increasingly self-sufficient.
We all know the great Prime Minister of the UK, and we just signed a document. This is, sorry about that. We just signed it, and it's done. And so we have our trade agreement with the European Union.
So look, I'll give you that AOC probably should have been more ready for that question, but are we going to really pretend that the actual president of the United States has not made similar or perhaps worse flubs on the global stage?
Yeah, I don't think we have to pretend. Everyone makes some flubs. We're all TV personalities. We have mistakes here and there. But it's interesting that you would play 10 consecutive clips of Trump actually saying things. Maybe they may not have been pertinent or taken out of context.
Incorrect
but you played one of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, which the whole world is still trying to figure out exactly what she was saying. So, you know, the big buzz now is maybe Kamala, AOC, 2028. I say, bring that on based on that performance right there.
Yeah, listen, stumbling over your words for 15 seconds is not the same as being incoherent or uneducated on foreign policy.
That was
She
incoherent.
had a ton of amazing answers in that same interview, which we are not playing. We are playing in its entirety, which we do not do for the president. Personally, I was more interested in the thing she said, where she said we're entering an age of authoritarianism, where a group is working in tandem to carve up the world into pieces to serve themselves, and the president is interested in taking on the Western Hemisphere. First of all, that seems kind of true to me, but going to the Munich Security Conference and saying that out loud in the world is kind of ballsy, and I liked it. So a couple of ums before answering a question on Taiwan.
Not a big deal.
You should go to Queens once in a while before she goes to Munich. That would probably help.
She has gone to Queens a few times, and she's she's not a foreign policy expert.
Clearly.
And so, no, she's not.
Clearly.
She's not.
You don't say. Come on, give her a break.
You guys, this is
You don't even know
exhausting.
who's running in Texas. Okay, so there's a ton of things. Stop being so condescending.
You know, for 5 seconds, let somebody finish their thoughts before you have to be
I would like to see
rude.
how you would be able to answer that. Look, I think that it takes a lot of courage, and I think for her to be expanding her message, for her to be expanding her areas of policy interest are a good thing. She is one of 4 members of Congress. There's a lot of them there that don't come with a breadth of foreign policy knowledge.
You're right. She was fabulous.
It's not about her being fabulous. It wasn't.
It wasn't. Let's say you're hired to give a speech. Let's say you're hired because you're expected to deliver information to an audience. Let's say you're even paid for it. When you go and do that, what happens is the agency that hired you, whether it's the government, your own party, says that was not your best moment. In fact, they tied you back to Kamala Harris. You were so bad, you sounded like her. And by the way, I'm sorry, it's not a partisan issue. She was terrible. Get over it.
So
now maybe she'll get better.
20
seconds. That was it. And the reality,
are you kidding?
But the reality is, if you take just a minute and not be condescending, I really believe what she was.
I'm trying to help
One moment. You had your moment. You had your moment.
Let her respond.
The reality is,
that's what's great
the
about me.
reality is, Kevin, is that she was taking a beat, and yes, she wasn't great for less than 20 seconds, if you ask me. But I thought she was doing something that the President of the United States rarely does, and that's think before she speaks.
I don't recall.
She was trying to get her words together so she knew how to handle it appropriately.
It's not partisan.
And if people did that, we wouldn't be in this situation that we're in right now.
Abby would tell the producers don't have them on anymore. We wouldn't be on ever again.
Everyone stop talking, please, for just a moment. Stop talking. Thank you. John.
Let's stop right here, because this is where the logic completely falls apart. Kevin says when you're on a world stage, you must deliver, no excuses, no pauses, no hesitation. Okay, fair standard. But if that's the standard, then apply it to everyone, not just the person you politically disagree with. We just watched clip after clip of Donald Trump mixing up continents, inventing country names, and mislabeling world leaders. That's not 115. Second pause. That's a pattern. Yet somehow that becomes comedy, entertainment, a personality trait. But when AOC pauses to think through a complicated question about Taiwan and China, suddenly it's catastrophic. Suddenly it's proof she's unqualified. See the double standard? Abby Phillip did something subtle but powerful. She didn't defend AOC blindly. She simply asked, what about Trump? What are the consequences there? And notice how quickly the energy shifted. Suddenly, it's context. Suddenly, it's everyone makes mistakes. Suddenly, it's not that serious. That's the part viewers are tired of. Not disagreement, not debate, hypocrisy, the selective outrage, the selective standards. And the reason this moment got heated is because when you expose hypocrisy live on air, people don't like it. Especially when they've built their argument on pretending it doesn't exist.
You all are strongly criticizing AOC for making
She was
flops.
terrible. That's why.
All right. We just played several bites here, okay? Let me hold on. He stood next to someone from the EU and called them the Prime Minister of the UK, okay? He called South Africa, South America. He called South America South Africa. He called Greenland, Iceland.
He called Namibia, Nambia.
So my question to you is, okay, bad answers. What do you think should happen to Donald Trump as a result of his bad answers?
AOC wants to become the president of the United States. He already is.
Okay,
so he's not worried about running again.
So what are you saying?
She's trying to become
So what are you
president.
saying, that it's okay, no consequences because he's already president?
No, I'm just saying that moment was not her best. And I, above all of the rest of you, I am encouraging her to say, listen, watch the tape, don't do that again, or you'll be compared to word salad girl
What
in the
about
last
when
election.
Donald Trump, in 2024, said, I think Taiwan should pay us for defense?
Yeah, but I'm sorry, it's
I don't
not
think that
working,
we're
Abby.
any different from an
She was
insurance
terrible.
policy. He
Let's
was running.
focus on
he was
her.
running for president at that time.
Let's lift her
he
up.
says,
Let's
I don't
help
think
her.
we are any different from an insurance policy. Why are we doing this? When he was asked if the United States would defend
what does that
Taiwan.
have to do with her
So even on the
Trump thought MAGA's having a field day.
Even on,
and we make some comments which you were
Again,
all thinking in your head, and now you're
hold
getting
on a
mad at
second.
us
I'm
for
sorry, this
having
is
a field
this
day.
is
We
not
deserve
working
it.
for you
It was a terrible
terrible.
performance.
John, hey, I'm just asking for you all to apply
I
the
think
same
Trump's hilarious. I
standard
think he makes mistakes
to
all the
the
time, and I
president
crack
as
up
you
laughing,
do
just
to
like I cracked
AOC.
up at Joe Biden when he made mistakes.
you know-
It happened.
you know what
You're not cracking up when the woman's laughing. You're mocking her. You're saying she's
I'm
uneducated.
cracking up
You're
when I
saying
see
she's
her
stupid.
because
And
she's
then you're
not even
comparing her to
forming
the
sentences.
Then you're comparing her to the
She's
other
not even forming
strong woman
sentences.
who
She's not
ran.
giving like a
But
wrong
it's
fact
hilarious
or a
when men
wrong
make a
name.
gaffe.
She's
But when
not
women make a
here to
gaffe, they're
support her.
monsters that should never be invited back.
Thank
You know what one of the differences is, though? When
Are you the booker for
When
this show,
Trump
too?
makes these mistakes as president, he's actually reading from things that people, supposedly experts on these issues, have written. AOC was beyond her skis, I think, in a place that is a new horizon for her.
Don't say that.
Enough, Kevin.
please
You're so damn
Don't say that.
repetitive.
Kevin, please stop.
And,
Let her
you know,
finish her thought.
she can't, I mean, Donald Trump can't read a script. She was answering an impromptu question of something that she's not an expert in. And she's there making mistakes and learning from them. Listen, I'm old enough to remember when George W. Bush was running for president, and they asked him about the guy running Pakistan, what was his name? And he kept saying, General, because he couldn't remember the guy's name.
An iconic moment in American history.
Yes, I mean,
all right.
and he went on to become president.
All right, next for us.
Here's the bottom line. This wasn't about a flub. It wasn't about Taiwan. It wasn't about foreign policy expertise. It was about power and who gets protected by it. Kevin O'Leary is quick to label AOC terrible, quick to brand her, quick to reduce her to a nickname. But when it comes to Donald Trump's repeated global misstatements, suddenly it's just part of the show. That's not intellectual consistency. That's political loyalty dressed up as analysis. And viewers can see that because thinking before you speak is not weakness. Taking a beat is not incompetence. If anything, in a world where politicians constantly talk without thinking, maybe a pause is the most responsible thing someone can do. The real discomfort in that panel wasn't about AOC's answer. It was about Abby forcing the same measuring stick onto Trump. That's what caused the tension. That's why voices started overlapping. That's why it got personal. When you hold everyone to the same standard, the imbalance becomes obvious. And once it's obvious, you can't hide it behind sarcasm or dismissiveness. You don't have to agree with AOC's policies. You don't have to support her politically. But if you're going to criticize her for a stumble, then own that standard fully, apply it across the board. No exceptions. Because credibility isn't about who you defend. It's about whether your principles stay the same when it's inconvenient. And in this clip, that inconsistency was exposed, live, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. If you made it this far, drop your honest opinion below. Was Kevin being fair, or did Abby and PoliticsGirl completely dismantle the argument? Let's talk about it.